Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Cucchiara, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you for spending some time with us or settle in to spend some time with us this afternoon. Just as a reminder, as I always do, I'd like to remind everybody the different places you could listen, check in, tune in. One is on the radio, KDOW 1220 AM. You could also listen to us live online. If you're listening between 3 and 4 Pacific Daylight Time, you could go to kdow.biz. And there's a big button right at the top of the website that says just click here to listen live. You could do that between 3 and 4 every day, Monday through Friday. And we'd also love to have you download the podcast, get the app. That way you can listen to the show anytime, anywhere. That is really growing rapidly. And the wonderful thing about the podcast is you can listen to the show anywhere, again, anytime at your convenience, and allows people to listen to the show all over the United States and even internationally. We have some international downloads, which is a lot of fun and neat to see. That's the great part about technology. You could get that download information if you go to our website at reradiolive.com. You get the app there, or you go to iTunes, Stitcher, all the normal places. Or, again, you could just go to our website, reradiolive.com, get the app, and that'll get you access to the podcast. We're a live show. We love your calls and questions. 2 ways to interact with us during the show. One is a toll-free number, 1-800-516-1220, if you'd like to give me a call. During the show, the other way is a text, and that is 408-838-9060 if you want to text any questions during the show. Today, the first couple segments, I'm going to be giving an update, talking a little bit about the market and the question I'll throw out there. And I think it's finally here. We may be most of the time when a market gets here. excuse me, we're always late, kind of calling it, right? When most of the time we're late calling it. It's been a seller's market for so long in the Bay Area, the Greater Bay Area, I should say. That's not everywhere, but in the Greater Bay Area, that we are finally evolving and changing to a buyer's market, and I do think we're here. I think we are. As I look at the data and the statistics on a daily basis, as I do, we are officially, in my opinion anyway, in a buyer's market. Now, some might say, well, wait a minute, there was a house that went on the market over there in Palo Alto or Los Altos, and they had 6 bids, and it went for $50,000 asking. I mean, those things are still going to happen depending on how the place is priced. But in general, if you look at the status of the market right now and the homes on the market and the inventory out there, I guarantee you it's more of a buyer's market now. It's transitioning. What that means is a buyer is starting to get a little more, I wouldn't say upper hand, but a little more clout. Let's call it. And any of you've been listening to the news, following the news, and maybe you've experienced it personally, over the last couple of years, if any home, just about any home in the Greater Bay Area went on the market, it was swooped up pretty quick and might have multiple offers and might even get a lot more than asking. That has changed. There are homes that are being listed now. There's more inventory. There's homes that are sitting on the market longer. There's homes that they're reducing the price. There's offers that are coming in less than asking. And interesting things are happening. Now, no time to panic. It's not like, oh, my God, what's going to happen? Are we in another bubble? No, we are not. I do not believe we are. What we are in right now is what's called back to a normalized market that is trending on a flat line. When I say flat line, that's not emergency. That is just, it's kind of level. It's leveling. We've been, in the analogy of an airplane, we've been in ascending, climbing I should say, a climbing altitude, climbing for the last couple of years where it was just going crazy, and now we are going to level off, and it looks like the market is going to level off and kind of cruise along at cruising altitude for a while. I think, this is my guess, I think through at least the end of the year, we'll see what happens. I think we're in a kind of a cruise control mode. That's the way I would call it, and I do think for the first time in many, many, many years, for the first time, I do think in many situations the buyer now has a little bit of the upper hand. Now, does that mean you're going to go in and lowball someone? No. Does it mean that you are going to go in and get something for less than it's listed for? No. What it means is you're going to have a little more time to look at the house. You're not going to have the craziness where your hair's on fire and you're running around trying to see if you could put your house on the market and go buy the house that you want. This also means that you're going to be able to make contingency offers. So this was unlikely before, but now, for the first time in many years, I'm hearing real estate agents say, and this will be music to your buyers' ears, hey, give us an offer, and we'll even take a contingency if we need to. Wow, haven't heard those words in a while. So for those that don't maybe not quite familiar, the contingency would be in, let's say you are intending to sell your home, but you don't want to sell your home typically until you find the right home. And that's kind of the way normally the way people would go. So people would kind of prepare their house for the market, meet with a real estate agent, choose a real estate agent, and then have a strategy together where they would go out and look for properties. And then let's say they found a home they really liked. And then they would act quickly, put their house on the market, make an offer on the home that they're looking at, and let the agent know on the listing side that, hey, listen, we love this house. We want to make an offer. This is our offer, but we do have a house to sell, and we plan to put it on the market right away. So then it's up to the listing agent and the sellers to see if they want to accept what's called a contingency offer, and that is the contingent sell of the person selling their home to purchase their home. So that is happening more and more, and it's going to start happening more and more. So keep an eye out for that. If you've been listening to this show, you go back and listen to the podcast. For the last, 4 to 6 weeks, I've really kind of seen this coming. So I've been talking a lot about the buyers get back out there, buyers beware, get out there, get ready. For those that were discouraged the first couple of years, and I'll say it again, I'll continue saying it for a while, I do believe, and if anything changes, I'll let those know. But I really do think right now is the best time to buy than it has been in the last, say, 3+ years. And some of you might say, well, wait a minute, Joe, how is that? Why is it the best time to buy when the values have been run up the last several years, and in some cases 15, 20, 30+% appreciation? That's true. The reason, and I'll preface this, let me put a little extension onto this. The reason I think it's the best time that there has been to buy in the last 3 years is, number one, we are going into a leveling of the market, and you're going to have more opportunity to really make your choice and pick a place that you want. And you're going to have more time to do so, and you're going to have some flexibility potentially with the sale of your home, which you did not have in the last 3 years. And the big factor, ladies and gentlemen, is that interest rates are still near historic lows. That is the biggest factor. Now, if you've been listening to this show for a while and following it, I've done the exercise several times, and I encourage you to do it too. Here's my philosophy. If you plan to own a home or be in this property for a period of time, when I say period of time, 7 to 10 years and then some, it is a great, great, great time to buy. And that's the main reason is that the interest rates are so low. The cost of money is so low. Go through an exercise. We've done it before. You could call me offline. I could do it for you. My opinion, believe that if it's a home that you really enjoy, you found, you found the home, this is the one you want, and you plan to keep it for at least 7 to 10 years, I think You're better off buying when the market is a little high, or maybe when you even think you might be paying a little premium for that home if the cost of money is low. Seriously, again, if we take $1 million home and you're thinking to yourself, gosh, Joe, $1 million, this is the home I really love. We want this home. But, I feel like we could have got it for $925 or $930 or $940 a while back. But now it's on the market. I would say if that's the home you're keeping your eye on and you're paying $60,000 to $75,000 more and you plan to be there in the next 7 to 10 years, do it. And the reason why is because the cost of money. If you get an interest rate, and again, this depends on what kind of loan you get, and there's a lot of variables behind it. But if you get a 30-year fixed interest rate at 3.5% today on this home that, let's say, you paid a $75,000 premium for, you think you paid for it. You don't know that. You think you might have. In your mind, let's say you did. You buy that home now and you finance it at 3.5%. Would you rather have that? You ask yourself, or I'll throw this question at you before we take the first break for you to ponder. Or would you rather wait about a year, year and a half, and let's say the market corrects a little bit, and let's say you get that home, you're all excited because that home now is down to $930,000 or $935,000. You're thinking, yes, see, I told you, Joe, if I just wait, I could get it for $60,000 to $70,000 less. And you're excited, and then you sit down to figure out the financing, and a year and a half from now, the 30-year fixed is at 4 3/4. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm giving you a hypothetical. So now you're paying more than 1% higher for the money on that house than you would have a year and a half ago. It's a fun, important exercise to go through, and I would encourage people to do that if you're thinking about it, if you're questioning. Maybe you're thinking, my gosh, I don't know if I want to buy right now, the run-ups. So I'll throw that at you. I'll leave that with you as we take our first break. And we come back. If you have any questions, give me a call, 1-800-516-1220, 1-800-516-1220, or you could text 408-838-9060. I'll be back with you in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Cucchiara.
Welcome back in. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Joe Cucchiara with Real Estate Radio Live. We're with you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. And the conversation today is first segment, and I'll finish up the second segment, is about the question is, are we finally in a buyer? And I say, yes, we are. Is it 100% locked in buyer, 100% powerful, making any kind of offer and getting anything he or she wants? No, that's not it. But it is transitioning to a buyer's market. It is transitioning for the first time in over 3 years, maybe more, into a buyer's market. The buyer is more in the driver's seat than he or she has been in many years. So I'm advocating taking advantage of this if you're ready and if it makes sense for those people that were discouraged the last couple of years. And just as we were finishing up the first segment, I was running through the scenario. Some people would say, that's all fine and great, Joe, but, the run-up the last several years scares me. And, I don't want to pay top dollar as the market's peaking. And I understand that. So if you have some concerns about that, I would sit down. I would always encourage you to do things unemotionally. And what I mean by that is buying a house for most people is very emotional. Very emotional. And it should be. It's a big decision. but also take the unemotional approach, no matter when and what you do. Always take the unemotional approach, and this is what I mean by that. You're going to have all kinds of funny feelings inside of you about buying or selling at a certain time. Sit down, spend some time either with yourself, your CPA, your partner, significant other, husband, wife, doesn't matter. Whoever is involved in that transaction. Sit down and put the numbers to the paper. That's what you need to do, because it needs to be more than an emotional decision. You need to be good with the decision you make. And the way you're good with the decision you make is you go through the exercise. You do your due diligence. You sit down and you figure out, can I afford this? Yes. Does it make sense? Yes. How long will you own the home? This many years. Is it going to be big enough? Is it in the right area? If we're going to have kids, is it the school district? Is it, are we going to expand? Is it big enough? If it's not, is it a place that we could add on to or do some things to it? Do all those things before you buy the home. And what I'm suggesting is the reason you could do a lot of those things now and you have more time now is because it is a buyer's market instead of a seller's market. You don't have to run around with your hair on fire and make an offer because you feel like there's pressure to do so. You have a little more time now. You could go out, take your time, find a place you want. If you don't find it, then fine. But if you do find it, then you have the ability to put your home on the market if that's what you're going to do, and prepare to make an offer on the home that you want, and then get your house listed, get it going. Or in some cases, I know a lot of people these days, when I say a lot, I don't know, 20 or 30% of people that buy move-up homes are keeping their current home. It may have been their first home or a home that they got for a good deal, or they've had it for years and it's in a good area and they feel like they could rent it out and they like the idea of owning property. And so I'm seeing that, I'm seeing a fair amount of that now too, where people are moving up and buying a bigger home or a different home or a home somewhere else, but they're renting their current home out. And that's great too. Accumulate some property. Appreciating assets, it's a good thing, especially in the Bay Area. So anyway, that is really the message I wanted to get out today. We have a couple more minutes in this segment. Then we're going to transition a little bit, and we're going to have Don Schab and also PJ Mitchell with FSBR on. You may have heard them before. It's a new online marketplace that's helping people buy and sell their homes. Also working with real estate agents, so it's not help yourself or sell by yourself and all that. You could list your home and get the assistance of these guys and also their new programs, but you could also be aligned with a real estate agent as well. So it's some things that are changing in the marketplace. One thing that you could always be sure of is there will always be change. And I've said this before. I'm in the financing business. I do residential financing for a living. Our industry, the mortgage industry and the real estate industry, are two industries that have had very little technology changes and evolutions in terms of making movements towards improving processes and systems with the use of technology. Mostly because they're archaic legacy systems. A lot of it on the mortgage side is because it's compliance-led. It's because we're just laden with compliance, and that's part of it too. But the real estate side is starting to change, and you're going to see some changes in the way interactions are made. And think about it. There is very little technology, and before we take this break, I think it's who is it? Someone Quicken Loan is Rocket Mortgage and all this kind of stuff. All that is just helps you get approved quicker, and there's an assumption or feeling like you're getting things done quicker. But I could tell you, once the paperwork goes in the system, is the very same thing. Don't be misled by that kind of stuff. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to invite our two guests in with FSBR, and we're going to talk about the real estate market, how things are changing, how they're helping, and much more. If you have any questions, 1-800-516-1220 or text 408-838-9060.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.